Yo! Oops. Gotta rotate myself real quick. Yeah, let's rotate myself real quick. There we go. So good, Josh Project Man, and today we are about to quickly, like I say, quickly, you know what I'm saying, review the 2025 Royal Rumble. You know, for those who don't know, I was on my TikTok posting different clips, and we're gonna go some brief notes because I already know, I want to, like I said, be time consuming. Let me move out the way for the light. Yeah, I'm like trying to see if I can turn this other light off. Hold on. Let me see. If I turn this off, I think it might be good. Yeah, we'll just do it like this. I think we'll be good. Yeah, let's do it like this. Bet. So, 2025 Royal Rumble, man. The pay-per-view and the actual, or PLE and the actual matches. So, here's what happened. We're going to go over the notes here. You know what I mean? Like, I had some brief notes. I ain't going to say, like, move by move, minute for minute, because, like I say, time consuming. People's champ shirt, you know what I mean? Anyway, we started off the night with the Women's Royal Rumble, 2025 Women's Royal Rumble. Makes sense. If it's called the Royal Rumble, it only makes sense that you put a Royal Rumble match to start off because it's kind of like the PLE advertises it anyway. But start off with the Women's Royal Rumble. The first person in this was Io Sky, man. And Io Sky came down to the ring. And then the second entrant was, I think, Liv Morgan. So two of the hottest females in 2024 as far as momentum and all that type of stuff goes. So, yeah, that was who was in the Royal Rumble. And, yeah, so I think I'm just going to go over the entrance and just some thoughts maybe in between because there wasn't a whole lot of just crazy spots or anything in this match. I can think of some if I can think of some, but yeah, as I'm going through this list, ain't no crazy. But it started off, obviously, they wrestled it out a little bit, you know what I mean? So Io and Liv are in there. So Roxanne Perez was the number 3 entrant. And she does some good things in there. She did some nice little hurricanrana. Everybody gets a little, fast paced moving spot. She did that. Lyra came out. Crowd reacted a tad bit because they like to do the little bird calling in between the song. 5 was Chelsea Green. 6 was B-Fab. 7 was Ivy Nile. 8 was Zoe Stark. 9 was Last Legend. So that's like a lot of people that, like, Roxanne might have got a little bit, but yeah, it was a lot of people, guys, in this early half of the Women's Royal Rumble that was not getting a reaction. And that goes to show you that it's not that they don't have talented females, but you can tell who they built up / who they have given importance and who they have not, because if you just look at the crowd reaction, that'll tell you all you need to know. So they need to build some of these people up properly, because all those names I just dropped, not built up at all, or not like, other than like maybe Roxanne Perez, who was a former NXT Women's Champion. She was like probably the only hot commodity that came from NXT in this situation by far in this Rumble that got some type of reaction. But then Bianca Belair was number 10. She got a reaction because they know her. They built her as a star. But they haven't with number 11, Shayna Baszler. 12, Bayley obviously got a pretty good reaction. 13, Sonya Deville. And when all of Sonya and Zoe and Shayna for their little faction was taken over for a little while in the Royal Rumble. And the first spot, which was number 14, Maxine Dupree, is what's going to lead me to what I'm about to say about this spot, was Maxine Dupree basically eliminated Ivy Nile. Or no. She was looking like she was about to get beat up by Ivy Nile because Ivy Nile was telling PFC, because PFC had like dominated, that's their little group, Shayna, Zoe, and Sonya. Their group was dominating the ring because they're, a team. And Ivy Nile saw Maxine come in the ring and she was like, yo, they're telling them I got this. Like, let me handle this. This is my business. And Maxine basically took her out. She did the little worm move and delivered an elbow to her. And I think that Maxine ended up getting eliminated, I think, by Ivy Nile at some point. But I think no. I think Maxine eliminated Ivy, and then she got eliminated like right after. I think it was something like that. So yeah, she got a little bit of offense in, and when she was about to get ganged up on by PFC, then I think it was like Bianca and Naomi and somebody else. They all kind of helped her out, you know what I mean? But then 15 was Naomi, so she came in after that. And yeah, they helped her out and stuff like that. But then Jada Parker was in there, again, just somebody else that they didn't really give a whole lot of momentum in NXT to the point where, you could maybe say people would know her, so she didn't get crazy reaction or anything like that. Piper Niven was in there, obviously, to help out Chelsea Green. Eventually, Chelsea Green got eliminated by Piper Niven accidentally. I'm just trying to think of random spots that happened here. Natalya was at 18. Jordan Grace from TNA was at 19. She got a good reaction again, like she did last time, and she was dominating in there. Another spot I remember here was she not pressed, but put her up in that fireman's carry for Piper Niven and did a Death Valley driver where she rolls through with it. That was a dope spot. That's when the crowd started getting a little more into it. I ain't gonna lie. Crowd was not really into this like crazy up until people like Jordan Grace was doing a little more in the ring. That's when the crowd started getting up more because Indianapolis, which was where they were at, they were not feeling this right here, this match for the first half entrance. Weren't really feeling it. Got into the later half, they get into it. Number 20 was Michin. Didn't really react for that. 21, the first big pop, other than people you would know. The first big pop was Alexa Bliss, man, the return of Alexa Bliss. Now, apparently people were saying that, they said she wasn't going to come back. I didn't even know that was a thing people were saying on the internet. I didn't know they had an issue, so I was out of the loop for that part of the wrestling news. So I didn't even know that was a thing. That was a report that people were saying she wasn't coming back or they had an issue or something. I didn't even know that was a thing. But I think when it comes to returns at the Royal Rumble, I think either her or who I'm about to mention in a couple of entrants, I think she got the biggest pop. If I'm not mistaken, I think Alexa Bliss got the biggest pop of the Rumble, man. But anyway, then we got Zelina Vega, again, somebody that they could and should have probably built up already, but whatever. Candice LeRae, Stephanie McCurry got a pretty good reaction. Hers was nice and had some audio to it. And then Trish Stratus was probably the only person you could argue got a bigger pop than Alexa Bliss. And yes, Alexa Bliss had the doll with her from the days of her with Bray Wyatt when they gave her a doll, recipes Bray. And that was the VKM Vince McMahon booking back in the day. But so they dropped the doll before she got to the ring. She dropped the doll, so I'm glad she did that. But yeah, Trish Stratus came out. Great to see her. I still think Alexa Bliss got a bigger pop than she did, but she got a big pop too, Trish did, because he doesn't love Trish. Raquel she's there with Liv, but they don't really build her up as her own thing, so she didn't really get a reaction. Charlotte Flair got a reaction at number 27. 28 was Julia. Maybe got a little bit of a reaction. Nia Jax, well, they don't like her. And number 30, I'm thinking in this Rumble, by the time we get to 30, I'm like, maybe it's going to be somebody like Becky or maybe Jade Cargill, maybe. AJ Lee was a far, far, far stretch, but would have been great. For those who don't know, that was my childhood crush, when I was growing up watching WWE. Yeah, that was the crush right there, for your boy. So, and I know her, I've seen her promos and stuff like that. So it would have been fantastic. Would have popped if I would have saw her, and easily would have got one of if not the biggest pop of the night. But number 30, y'all, ended up being Nikki Bella, and nothing against Nikki Bella, not to say I'm a big fan of her, but it's just number 30, I felt should have been a return of somebody that, not to say that she didn't get a reaction. She got a reaction, but, because people know who she is, right? They did the twin thing and all that, but it's just, to make the Rumble exciting, and the problem I have is, she was basically a mute point during this Rumble. What I mean by that is, by the time she got in the ring, it didn't even matter, because Charlotte had eliminated Piper all by herself, of course. And then there was a spot where Nia eliminated 7 people, because everybody was over the top rope. It was 7 people were over the top rope, including Io, who I chose to win the Rumble. And they all got shoved out by Nia because they were all already over the top rope. So Nia kind of just shoved them all, and it was 7 eliminations in one push because everybody was all next to each other and stuff. And I'm like, Bro, they're clearing up this ring quick. Like 7 people eliminated at once, including the pick I had to win. Once EO was eliminated, I was like, yeah, they're going Charlotte. I'm sorry, I just knew they were going Charlotte. Also, there was a funny spot earlier where it was like, I think it was like Jada Parker, Naomi, and Bianca, and like maybe Lash Legend. Somebody like, it was like all the black ladies. You know, it's the first day of Black History Month. They was all together, and then Chelsea got in there and tried to join, and it was funny. And you know, that was just funny. I just had to point out another notable spot, but yeah, those were all the entries in the Rumble, and the Rumble match pretty much just ended with Nia Jax getting eliminated, I think, by Charlotte, and Roxanne Perez was eliminated last. She was the runner-up, but, and, you know, as we would thought, Charlotte ended up winning. For those who don't know, in my review, I actually said that Charlotte was going to win. If EO were to lose, I knew it was going to be Charlotte. I was like, it's either going to be Charlotte or EO, and they went with Charlotte. And, you know, a lot of people didn't like it, but it's obvious why, because Charlotte's a 14-time world champion who's probably going to win 14 more world championships. So it's like, what good does it do her to win another Royal Rumble? I think that's a lot of people's gripe here. Sorry, folks. The video had cut off, so I had to switch it over to my phone because the OBS was acting weird. But anyway, we continue with the review. But yeah, Charlotte ended up winning, and I was one of those people that said, you know, it was one of those situations where, let's be honest. If your pick wasn't Charlotte Flair, you knew Charlotte Flair was winning if your pick got eliminated. And it was one of those situations where I think it's, again, 14-time world champion. She didn't really like need this win or anything. It wasn't like it was necessary for her to get this win. So that's why a lot of people were against it. And I agree, it wasn't necessary. And it also doesn't really make you build a new star, really. It doesn't really kind of show that you're trying to really build anybody new. Which I don't think anybody's surprised that she got back in the world title picture. That's not unexpected. That's not breaking news. But it's just one of those, she could have done something different to get to that point. So it was no point in having her win again, considering we already knew you were going to get her in there somehow. So she could have done maybe the chamber, actually like Becky did. She could have done the chamber just like Becky did last year, where, remember guys, when Bayley won the Royal Rumble and challenged EO, and Becky won the Elimination Chamber and challenged Rhea? That's what happened last year. They could have done the same thing with Charlotte. What's wrong with Charlotte winning a chamber match, you know? But anyway, had her win the Rumble. I bet you what they thought was, well, one, Triple H is a big Charlotte fan, for those who don't know. He is a big fan of Charlotte. I mean, you know, Ric Flair was his mentor at one point, so, I mean, it makes sense. So, and not to say she's not talented in the ring and as a wrestler, but the gimmick's kind of just the same. And, you know, anyway, so she won again. Another Royal. She's the first woman to win 2 Royal Rumbles. Maybe their excuse for having her win this Rumble, even though she's already an established person and 14-time world champion, probably was the fact that they probably thought to themselves, well, in all fairness, she didn't really get a crowd when she won the Royal Rumble the first time, so. Because, you know, 2020, she faced Rhea for like the NXT championship or something like that. That was all during the pandemic era. So maybe that was their logical reasoning. You know, this time she'll have a crowd, maybe. I'm just guessing. But anyway, could have won Chamber, because Rumble is such a big opportunity for you to go on and challenge a champion at WrestleMania. So to give that to somebody who has had multiple big moments. Anyway, but shout out to Roxanne being the runner-up. At least that goes to show that they may have actually a future for her. You know what I mean? So it's good that they're actually putting some attention on other females, as she was the runner-up in the Rumble. So the Rumble is really just a showcase of the talent and whatnot. But yeah. But actually, I gotta open up my computer back because I just realized I still need. I had some notes written down, and I got to get to them on my computer now because they were on my phone, but because I'm using my phone now to record, I gotta use the computer now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get back to where I was at here. Let me see what website I was on. All right, bet. All right. So then the next match was the for those who that was pretty much the end of that match. But anyway, next match was the WWE Tag Team Championship match between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. 2 out of 3 falls match. First two falls. So you know how 2 out of 3 works. A team gets a fall, and if that same team gets another fall, then they win the match. But if they lose the first match and then like they win the second one, they got to win the last one. So it only goes to 3 if a team doesn't win twice in a row. That being the first and the second match, rather than like second and third. But anyway, you get it. 2 out of 3 falls. And in the match, here's the thing. Yes, these teams are both consistent of small guys, so it doesn't really look like that juggernaut of a team. Like, it doesn't look more legitimate. But they can both wrestle. Both teams can wrestle. Both teams have been rounds the world when it comes to pro wrestling. And shout out people like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, man, getting this, and Motor City Machine Guns, getting this type of spotlight. Like 60, 70,000 people at the Royal Rumble, and you get to perform in front of all those people on a big time premium live event, so shout out to them. But the match didn't really get into that gear. Like, it was going pretty well, but the issue is the match never got into that gear it really, I would say, needed to really do what it needed to do. So the match was okay. And by the way, I gave the Women's Royal Rumble about a 6.5 because once Charlotte won, and I was like, we had to go with the predictable, And then the crowd just wasn't into a lot of the females there either, so that just didn't help the matter either. But it was some good, showings like Jordan Grace and others who got in the Royal Rumble and did their thing. But moving on, thinking of something else now. But anyway, DIY 2 out of 3 fall. I felt it could have been at like a, starting off the year with really good tag team wrestling with 2, legitimate tag teams. I thought it would have been cool, and I really thought that this match was going to deliver. I knew the crowd wasn't going to be into it at first, but I figured like with these guys being able to wrestle, and I was assuming they were going to get more time. Not that it was short, but I was assuming they would get more time, that it would get time to kick into high gear. But a crowd to react to it like a main event match, like how those, teams could put on, but didn't get to that point. They didn't get to that gear where they could really get into that main event field tag match. So the crowd reacted a tad, but not much. There was a little bit of blood on the team's faces as they were doing a lot of kicks to each other. But the match, there was, near fall with a shatter machine from DIY to, pop them up in the air and catch them with that, knee code break or whatever. That was probably the only thing I really remember from it other than the ending, which was in hoodies. 2 guys in hoodies came down to the ring, hit them with a walking cane, or I'm sorry, it was a crutch. They hit them with across the Motor City Machine Guns, one of them, across the back with a crutch when the ref wasn't looking or something like that. And DIY ended up getting the pin. And after the match, it was revealed that it was Street Profits, or a little bit after the match, or right before the match ended, something like that. It was revealed that it was Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, but you could tell it was Montez Ford because he wasn't covering his face, So you could tell it was Street Profits, and even when the match was over and DIY won the match, retained the titles, they gave the match, like I said, a 6 because the in-ring wasn't bad, but again, never got to hit that high gear to where the crowd could really get into it. But yeah, then Street Profits hit freaking DIY over the back with the cane, so they're not on anybody's side. So I think either Street Profits are heels or they're probably tweener. I think this version of the Street Profits, if they actually treat it seriously and they win the tag titles, them against like current New Day as heels, like would go crazy. Like both teams being really serious. I think that'd be a great and crazy tag match. But they look good with the World WWE Tag Team Championships. The Street Profits, they look really good with them. You know what I mean? When they was holding them up in the air after the match was over. But yeah, this match was kind of just a nothing match. It just didn't really, like I said, ever get into that high gear that we know that they were capable of. It was some nice, nice, decent, whatever you want to say, tag wrestling. DIY using their brains with the, fake out tags and getting the guy and getting one of the guys from Motor City Machine Gun and, maybe distracting the referee so that when the guy got the tag, the ref didn't see it. So it was some nice little mind games playing in there. Nice strategies played out. But again, match The match never really, like I said, got into that gear that we know the guys can really get into and really make it feel like that main event tag match that the crowd can be receptive to. So first half of this PLE was kind of I ain't gonna lie, it was like decent, not even barely scratching decent. Like it just was needing something. And that something came in a massive way in the next match, which was the WWE Championship match, the ladder match with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Both of these guys, obviously, the crowd cares about. They're both top guys. Cody Rhodes being the top babyface, Kevin Owens being one of their top heels in this match. Rivalry was good. And man, they were hitting each other with those ladders, man. Both guys obviously came out for their entrance, and man, they were hitting each other with those ladders. Kevin Owens did that, suplex where he's on the other end of the superplex and he like takes the guy and kind of reverses him, twists him in midair, and it landed Cody on the ladder. I think Cody did like a backdrop to Kevin Owens on the ladder, or like it was like in between the ladder or something like that. And, they were both going for the title. And then the biggest spot from this match was devastating. Like I said, I ain't gonna run through the whole thing because I don't want to waste y'all time. But then the biggest spot was Kevin Owens was bleeding. I think he got bounced off the announce table multiple times, I think, by Cody. And then, they fought in the crowd a little bit. And yeah, Cody punched up that boy's face and it was bleeding. Was Kevin Owens' face. It was bleeding. And yeah, this was the ferocious Cody we needed to see, because then the match ended with Kevin Owens, because he's going to take, all these types of crazy spots. Kevin Owens might have been a stair spot, maybe, but it was then the ending sequence of this match, because earlier Sammy came out there for some reason. I don't know why. Because Sammy, I get it, because they're telling the story of, Kevin and Sammy having his back, but he didn't do anything in the whole match. He checked on him when Owens was out for a little bit, but, they didn't do anything. So, the match just ended with a massive spot with Kevin Owens getting Alabama slammed from the announce table. I think it was Cody was standing on top of the announce table. He had Owens in Alabama slam position where Owens' head is back there and his legs are over Cody's shoulders, and he flips him forward like this, and Kevin Owens folded, back hit the ladder and folded like he landed on his head through the ladder. It was nasty. I was reacting all types of ways throughout this match, but those are the most notable parts of this. And yeah, Cody got in the ring, climbed up the ladder, took the belts down, and all you see is a visual of Sammy didn't even help at all. That's number one. Number two, Cody took down both of the belts and won the match. And then he stood over, he hugged the kid, by the way. So all of this bloodied up Kevin Owens and put through that ladder. And Cody goes over and hugs the kid. And then he stands pretty much over Kevin Owens, where he has both of the belts raised in the air. I know I'm like Austin freaking have the hands in there. But Cody had both of the titles raised in the air while Kevin Owens is just sitting up like this, freaking bleeding and stuff like that. And it was a crazy visual. And it's Cody was even showing him, yeah, I'm the champ, bro. I'm the champ, bro. You know what I'm saying? Both of the belts in his hands. God, dog. It was a good visual, bro. Of Owens trying to sit up and then Cody holding the title over his head pretty much. It was a crazy dope visual. But that was crazy. By this point, we were we were 1-2. I think we were 1-2. We were 1-2 in predictions by this point. We get water, because I ain't gonna lie, that mouth is dry. Hold on, real quick. Let me get a water real quick. Okay. A lot of talking. So I had to get the mouth going. Pause now. Not like that. But anyway, yes, Cody Rhodes won the match, retained the title. Hopefully this means that they're going to make a new title, because they took the old school Winged Eagle belt in the current World WWE Championship that they have now. And hopefully that means they're gonna fuse it and make a new title. One could only hope, because why else would you have made a match that where he has to take both of the belts down if you weren't gonna fuse it and make a new belt slash maybe make the WWE Championship essentially a modernized Winged Eagle belt type of thing. Hopefully that's what they're going for. But as we proceed to move on, man, the next match was the Men's Royal Rumble, the main event of the evening. I gave the last match, by the way, I gave a 10 out of 10. They had violence, carnage, a lot of different ladder spots. Like I said, I don't want to waste y'all's time with every single detail. You gotta watch it for yourself for it to do yourself justice. But yeah, by the time this pay-per-view or PLE was picking up, man, by this point. But here we go. Men's Royal Rumble as the main event. Gave this Rumble a 9 out of 10. And I'm going to explain to you why. So, we started off the Royal Rumble. And for those who don't know, in my review, I was like, it would be cool if they started this off with, like, maybe Punk at 1 and Drew at 2 or something like that. Where, like, they do, like, because the rivalry of the year last year could have done something like that. But they ended up doing Rey Mysterio as number 1. We all love Rey Mysterio. And number 2 was Penta. For those who don't know, Penta, a new luchador that came in a couple weeks ago. And they've been booking him pretty good so far on television, giving him 2 consecutive wins on television so far. So, booking him pretty well. And it started off with him and Rey Mysterio. So, it was cool to see both luchadors, facing off, going at it. There was a spot in the match where obviously the match starts by this point. There was a spot in the match where Rey, and that's the thing, I always say, like, it's one of those situations where I was thinking of this. High flyers are not very good in Royal Rumbles. And what I mean by this is, a lot of the time with high flying, the goal is to hop over the top rope multiple times, because they're springboarding up to the rope and then they're leaping off the top. So I'm like, yeah, high flyers aren't meant for Royal Rumbles because the goal is not to go over the top of the rope. But so they had a spot where, like, Ray does the thing where he, like, kind of wraps the legs around the guy's body and, like, flips him over the rope. And he did that with Penta, and it looked like both of Penta's feet hit the ground when he went over. So, but they didn't replay it because they were like, oh, yeah, that was, like, a really close call. So, I don't think they wanted to take their chances of replaying it. But that spot happened in the match. Then but yeah, other than that, just, like, a notable thing there. Chad Gable came out, and for those who don't know, it's like Chad Gable's had bad luck trying to go against luchadors, so this was just perfect for him, I'm sure. But he goes out there, he does well. He does a couple of his moves, suplexes and all, and Rey Mysterio and Penta team up on him. Then number 4, Carmelo Hayes came out. He does his thing where he does that little tilt-a-whirl thing where he, like, kind of basically goes around and ends it in, like, a face buster. He did that move, and I think he might have did him and Chad Gable both heels, right? So they teamed up and did a move on Penta where Gable had him in German suplex position, and then Carmelo Hayes bounced off the second rope and clotheslined him, and then so he clotheslined him as he's in suplex position, and he falls right onto the mat. So can't call every single thing, but just some notable things I remember. Whew. We're going off here, man. I'm telling you, I was trying to get you guys out of here. Santos came into the match. Not too crazy of a reaction. The crowd did react well, obviously, to Ray because it's Ray. Penta got a pretty good reaction as well. Santos, yeah. Otis, crowd liked him. He got a good reaction, yeah. And another thing is, of why the men I felt had a better Rumble match is not just because of the star power was better and more people were over and there was just a lot of multitude of stories they teased and told here, but also the guys obviously naturally work better in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, naturally the guys can do the moves a little crisper. They can hit bigger moves because they're bigger human beings, so they can hit these bigger moves. So the pace just feels better, it moves a little better, but just some notable things I picked up on because, like, even when the big stars didn't come out in the Rumble, the match still felt good because, again, they know what they're doing. They can hit harder. They're bigger human beings, so they can pick each other up and throw each other down. And the action feels a little more fluid when the guys are in there for obvious reasons. You know what I mean? But anyway, Braun Breaker came out. Obviously, he pretty much speared almost everybody in the ring. And then Akira Tozawa comes out, and I'm thinking, okay, Tozawa. And then, crowd reacted better to Braun Breaker than they did last year, obviously, because they've gotten Braun over Intercontinental Champ, two-time Intercontinental Champ now. So Braun Breaker got a pretty good reaction. And then Akira Tozawa was number 8. So Braun was 7, Otis was 6, 5 was Santos, 4 was Melo, 3 was Chad Gable, and then 2 was Penta, 1 was Ray. Number 8 was Akira Tozawa, so you're thinking, okay, he's going to help out Otis. And I'm thinking, funny enough, Tozawa of all people. And Carmelo, for those who don't know, was the first one that was eliminated. So when Akira's about to come out, or he does come out, and Melo's mad, and he just forearms Akira to the back, and Akira Tozawa is already not the biggest dude, so he just was out, and they took him to the back, and they did the long shot where they showed you where gorilla position was, because that's where they took Tozawa, and they're checking on him. Triple H is checking on him, like, are you okay? Like, hey, we need somebody to replace him for the Rumble. And for those who don't know, they invited Casanat, a popular screamer, to scream the Royal Rumble. They had him on the cam when they, showed the celebrities. They showed him, and that leads me to another popular streamer up there, right up there with him, and who replaced Tozawa in this Rumble. And I shouted the name, man. I showed Speed, man. I went Speed, because it was crazy seeing Speed in the Royal Rumble. For those who don't know, he's only a couple months older than me, so the fact that he's doing stuff I pretty much should be doing, and who's to say I won't be doing, is crazy. Because I remember, like, last year or some other time, I had seen a video of him like playing the game, like WWE 2K, playing the WWE 2K game, and playing as himself and eliminating, or having matches on the 2K game. He went from that to this year actually being in the real WWE Royal Rumble. So he was number 8 to replace Tozawa, and he was only in there for like a minute. So he helped Braun Breaker eliminate Otis. Like, he just grabbed the foot, threw him over the top rope, and then he ran around the ring, did the Suey. He did a backflip, which I was hoping he'd do. I was like, come on, hit the backflip. He did hit the back. So he did all his signature stuff. The barking, the backflip, the Suey. He did all of that. And then by the way, he did come out to his World Cup. For those who don't know, that's one of his songs that he made. The World Cup. He actually got a pretty good pop, man. So I know people are going to hate on this and say, it's a goofy spot, whatever. But he was only in there for 1 minute, and he replaced Tozawa. So it wasn't like he took it away from a very over talent. And he actually got a pretty goddamn good freaking pop, man. Those people know about Speed. They know a thing or two about a thing or two, man. So shout out to Speed getting there, who's say, I want to be in the Royal Rumble one day. But anyway, got a pretty good pop. He came out to his World Cup song that he made. And pretty good pop from the crowd. And yeah, like I said, he did the backflip, the Suey, the barking. And it's funny because Braun Breaker does the barking too. So that's how that fit. I think they set that up on purpose for both of those guys, known for their barking there. And as Speed did the backflip celebration, whatever, Braun Breaker's like, he daps him up a little bit and then proceeds to run the ropes back and forth. And Speed didn't even get speared in the side. He speared Speed, not in his torso. He speared him to like the side. Like Speed wasn't even ready. Didn't even fully turn his body around. And proceeded to get Speed, and it looked like his freaking, because obviously Speed ain't used to taking bumps, so Speed just like legit got tackled and toppled over and hit the freaking canvas, and I think his back of his head probably hit the canvas a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't a comfortable landing. And actually after on social media, and then I forgot to say, I'll say this later, Speed then got press slammed overhead by Braun Breaker and thrown outside of the ring, and Otis is the person who caught Speed and then launched him like a follow-away slam, launched him over the top of his head. Otis did, launched Speed over the top of his head, and Speed landed on the announce table, rolled over the announce table into the commentators' chairs, and yeah, he was up out of there. And after, Speed showed this big freaking mark. Y'all know when y'all like scrape up your knee on like the concrete? Speed had like a big freaking mark on his leg. I think it was from when he got speared by Braun Breaker. I think he might have cut up his leg on something during that exchange. And yeah, his leg was cut up, like skin rippled off. Like it was bad. It was a big spot there. But yeah, Speed last year at WrestleMania 40 went viral when he got RKO'd on the announce table by Randy Orton. This time he got speared by Braun Breaker and thrown over onto the announce table by Otis. Yeah, when it comes to announce tables, they just don't like Speed. Because he got thrown on the announce table this year at the Royal Rumble. And last year he got RKO'd on the announce table by Randy Orton. So yeah, I don't blame Speed on social media for saying that, yeah, I ain't going back to WWE. Like, even if Triple H himself, the boss, invites him, which was what happened. Yeah, I don't mind Speed if he don't want to come back, bro. He just seemed to always get hurt. So look, it was great to see Speed, a fellow streamer, content creator. Love seeing Speed, but god done, man, I don't know if he want to come back, bro. You just keep getting cooked every time you're there. But anyway, then it was Sheamus. He got a good reaction. They like the bang after banger. You know what I mean? Jimmy Uso came out there. Andrade came out there. And then Jacob Fatu got a pretty goddamn good reaction. Like, they were like, oh, like, you know, they know he's something to treat serious. And Jacob ended up eliminating, like, I don't know how many people. He eliminated, like, what, 5 people? Because I think he eliminated, like, Andrade. He eliminated, trying to see. I think he eliminated Gable, Penta, Mysterio. I think he eliminated Ray, Penta, Chad Gable. Yeah, he eliminated like 5 people, I think. He eliminated Jimmy Uso, but I'm going to get to that like when that happened, because that is a very notable point. So Jacob came out there, did his thing, eliminated, like I said, I think he eliminated like 5 people. Ludwig Kaiser came out there, and then he was eliminated pretty quick. He was in there for like a couple of seconds, or maybe almost a minute, and then he got thrown over the top rope by Penta, I think. And he was not in there long. They let you know who they pushing and who they not. Miz then got in the Royal Rumble, and at number 14, 13 was Kaiser, 12 was Jacob, 11 was Andrade, 10 was Jimmy Uso, 9 was Sheamus, just in case I missed the numbers. And then at number 15, say his name and he appeared. Yeah, Joe Hendry, the TNA World Champion, man. Popular sensation from when he, made his song that people like singing. And yeah, he got a good pop, from somebody who's from TNA. He got a goddamn good pop. And what I mean by from TNA, as in you probably wouldn't think a lot of people would know him, but they gave him an audible pop, man, and sung along with the song a little bit. But yeah, Joe Hendry was in there. And then at number 16 was the OTC Roman Reigns, man. They had a brief little face-off, Joe Hendry and Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns, I think he threw out the Miz. And Jacob Fatu had a face-to-face with Roman Reigns after Fatu threw over Jimmy. That's what happened. Fatu threw Jimmy over the top rope and eliminated him. Then the Roman and Jacob face-off happened. But before that, I think there was also a Jacob and Braun Breaker face-off, but they didn't really get to interact. I think they got broken up before they could do anything. And they also did a Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker face-off, where Braun Breaker actually got to hit a spear on Roman. But when he went to go throw Roman over the top rope, Roman countered, threw Braun Breaker over the top rope. So saving Braun Breaker there, right? You just got eliminated by the face of the company. So it's like, oh, when that match happens, it's going to be crazy. Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns, talk about a young talent coming up versus the current face of the company, So that's going to be a crazy match when it happens. But then Roman had a face-off with that boy Drew McIntyre, because that's who came in at number 17. Drew was talking his trash, like he's like, waiting for this moment. Boom, boom, boom. Like, he coming after him. And boom, they went at it a little bit. Then Finn Balor at number 18. I don't know what kind of theme song they gave him, but it just, to me, doesn't fit. Number 19, United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura came in there. And number 20 was Jey Uso. That's going to be an interesting name as this Rumble goes about. But Jey Uso came in there. A returning AJ Styles at number 21. He came back with the old gear, like the light blue that he initially had. And when he kind of first came in WWE. And the theme song, the first theme song he got in WWE, his babyface theme song, is back as well. And then Braun Strowman came in there, and I think he eliminated Jacob Fatu because of their feud there. So he got eliminated. I think he eliminated Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu was mad. Like, he threw one of the announcers' chairs dang near into the ring. Like, he threw it onto the bottom rope, and it kind of got in between it a little bit. So yeah, Jacob was mad when he got thrown over by Braun Strowman. Y'all know they had a whole angle on Saturday Night's Main Event where Jacob moonsaulted onto him multiple times, and it was a great piece of business. And number 23 childhood GOAT, that boy John Cena came in there, man. My number 3 of all time, my childhood number 1 GOAT. He came out there, great to see him. Then the stars aligned, man, because right after that, John Cena and Roman, I think, had a face-off. I think John Cena eliminated Braun Strowman. Then John Cena and Roman had a face-off. Then Punk got in there, so it was a 3. So, like, it's all my childhood, man. Punk, Cena, Roman in his earlier days. Roman, Cena, and Punk facing off against each other. And the stars get a little bigger, and my childhood gets a little more in here, because then Seth Rollins came at 25. Punk came in at 24. And yeah, Seth wasted no time. Everybody was like staring each other off and stuff like that. And Seth didn't care about no goddamn stare off. So we're like watching these stars, right? Man, Cena, former face of the company, or the last face of the company. Roman Reigns, the current face of the company. CM Punk, one of the top guys, big name. And then Seth comes in there. All these big names, top guys. And Seth didn't waste no time with no face off. He went straight after Punk. And it's funny, 2 of his biggest ops, Roman Reigns and CM Punk in the ring. And yeah, he went right after CM Punk. They started brawling out. Then at number 26 came Dominic Mysterio. Dominic got in there, man. At number 27 was Sami Zayn. I think he ended up getting eliminated by Jey. It was Jey by mistake, because Jey went to super kick Drew or somebody, I think, and he moved out the way and he super kicked Sami, and Sami fell off the apron and got eliminated. And then Damian Priest came in at number 28, not in this order, but just that's what happened. Number 28, Damian Priest came in there. He eliminated Drew, and that was wild, because I really thought Drew was gonna be one of the last like 4 to 5 people. And he just got eliminated by Damian like he didn't matter. And I'm like, wow, I thought they would have gave Drew a little more importance in the Rumble there. But anyway, right? LA Knight at number 29, man. Yeah, LA Knight came out there. His first Royal Rumble. He's competed at the Rumble twice, actually. The Rumble against... In 2023, he had Bray Wyatt's last match in 2023 when they had the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. And then in 2024, he was in a Fatal 4-Way WWE Championship match with, funny enough, all the guys that were in the Rumble except for one guy. Last year, they had a Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Championship match. It was LA Knight, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton, who wasn't in this Rumble. But LA Knight's first time actually being in the Royal Rumble, not competing at the pay-per-view or PLE, but first time actually in the Royal Rumble match itself. So that was great to see. Crowd gave him a good reaction. And then number 30, my boy Logan Paul, man, at number 30. So only surprises in this Royal Rumble, because I say loosely a little bit with surprises, because some of these people we kind of like were hoping would be there, but sometimes you're not sure. Well, the only surprises really was like Joe Hendry, obviously. Probably AJ Styles, maybe. Well, I mean, I feel like people probably would have expected him to be back, but those were the only really surprise people and Speed basically, and he got a good reaction, so that's for what it's worth. And yeah, so the Final Four didn't really happen traditionally, where they have the Final Four and it's all set up and you get to milk the moment. It actually really was a Final 3, because what happened was, I think... Let me see, look back through here. I think what happened was Roman and CM Punk, I think. Oh, no, Roman and Seth. It was like Roman and Seth were facing each other off. They had like a mini match where they did their counters and moves. And they were both over the top rope. And they were both like, they both went over the top rope, Roman and Seth. Or I think they were both in like a scuffle where they were both trying to get each other over the top rope, and they were fighting each other. And then Punk came from behind and threw both of them over the top rope. And then CM Punk got eliminated by Logan Paul. Logan Paul, which was funny because last or the Friday Night SmackDown last night, he was just telling Owens how he hasn't gotten beaten by Logan Paul, but now he got eliminated by Logan Paul in the Rumble. So that was just funny. So Logan threw him over the top, and it's like, wow, like, so my prediction was gone, and I didn't think Logan Paul was gonna be the one to eliminate him. And yeah, it was happening kind of quicker. Like some of these eliminations happening quicker than I thought. So yeah, ring got cleared up, and it was the last three, and it was John Cena, Jey Uso, and Logan Paul. And Logan Paul, I think he got thrown out by John Cena. And so it came down to John Cena and Jey Uso. Now here I was thinking that Cena was gonna win because I forgot about the fact that he was announced that he was gonna compete at the Elimination Chamber and that he was gonna be his last one. And at the time I didn't think about that. So I was like, well, who's like a main event talent that would make sense to win the Royal Rumble? And I was going Team Cena all day. Because for those who don't know, in my review, I said it's either gonna be Cena or a Punk. I'll tell you one thing's for certain. I knew Cena was gonna be the one. Like when it was came down to the last two, I knew Cena was gonna be one of those last two people. Not the other guy was gonna be Punk, but the other guy was Jey Uso. And this last part is gonna go a little while. I'm gonna be honest, because Jey Uso, as both of them went over the top rope, I thought we were gonna see attitude adjustment to Jey Uso on the apron, where Jey would boom off the apron and roll out of the fall onto the floor. But actually, it ended with Jey delivered a super kick. Cena almost fell out the ring. Cena went for attitude adjustment. Jey got off and pushed Cena off of the apron because they had both already gone over the top rope, but he didn't hit the floor yet. And he pushed Cena off. Cena landed feet first, both feet on the floor. Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble. Great moment for Jey Uso. He pretty much knows he's going after Gunther. And leading up to the Rumble, I think maybe a week out before the Rumble, he did say, I can beat Gunther. I know I can beat him. So they went with Jey Uso. Now, as far as the note part, that's over with. Okay. It was a great Royal Rumble match. And a Royal Rumble match that was the most star-studded a Rumble's been in a while. Like all those names I just dropped, like so many stars that got a good reaction. Unlike the women's Royal Rumble, like a lot of people in this match got a reaction. Like there were women that got a reaction, but it was maybe like 8, maybe 9, 10 women got a reaction to a good reaction. But in this Rumble, a lot of people got a reaction. Upcoming stars and current stars. So as far as this Rumble's concerned, it didn't really need a whole lot of crazy returns or legends from the past. I mean, technically we had Cena and Punk. Those would probably be considered legends of the past, but it didn't. And I know that boy Final Boss Rock was not in it. I know. Disappointed. But here we go. Jey Uso. This is probably the longest part of the video. It's not that I don't like Jey Uso. I like Jey Uso. Glad that he got to have a cool moment. And I get it. The Yeet was really over in 2024. Same thing with, the Yeet popularity went crazy in 2024, especially with France doing the yeeting with the lights on the phone. It went crazy, went viral, went crazy with the views on TikTok and stuff. And it was the same thing. Funny enough with LA Knights, yeah, he had all that same momentum, except it was in 2023 where it popped off and stuff like that. And for Jey Uso, 2024, his catchphrase popped off like crazy. Now, I didn't see LA Knight get rewarded with an Elimination Chamber or Royal Rumble victory with a world title match at WrestleMania. But they did it with Jey Uso. Won the Royal Rumble, the 2025 Royal Rumble. I was not expecting that. I thought either Cena or Punk was going to win it. And again, it's not that I don't like Jey Uso. I just feel like sometimes he relies on the yeet word too much. I feel like instead of just letting the crowd do it on their own, he kind of does too much. Throughout the promo, he'll do too much where he, it's like cueing the crowd constantly to do the yeet rather than just letting them do it. Because he can cut a promo, but he'll be so concerned with getting that word in that it'll take his mind off the promo a bit. But he's proven multiple times he can cut a promo when he's not so focused on trying to get the crowd to say that word. But like Jey Uso, I just don't know if, main event Jey Uso, I just feel like, is the Rumble too big of a platform for him to win? If he would have won the Elimination Chamber, I would have been fine with that. But something about like, and I get it, like I said, t-shirt sales, crowds going crazy for the live house shows and the live shows we see every week on TV. But I don't know why, but for me, I'm like, dang, Rumble just seems like a really big thing to have him win, right? Because he's gonna main event WrestleMania, like I said, most likely against Gunther. So he's gonna main event like WrestleMania. Like that's a big thing you're giving Jey Uso. So like I said, that boy Rikishi might have gotten his head. You know what I mean? That boy Rikishi was on Triple H's head. He be on his head low key on the internet. So and on his podcast. So I'm like, maybe he was like, hey, you better win that goddamn. I'm kidding. He probably didn't say that. But anyway, not sure about Jay winning the Rumble. I'm not like mad at it, but like I just feel like, is the Rumble too big of a platform, and do we really need to see Jey Uso versus Gunther as far as that being a Mania caliber match? Consider we've seen it like 4 times already in recent time. By the way, I mean we literally saw that Saturday night's main event. So the main event of Saturday night's main event from like what was it, like January 22nd, is now gonna main event WrestleMania this year, all in the same year. I'm like, really, is like Jay and Gunther that really big of a match? And then quality wise, is he gonna deliver that much to where it should be main eventing WrestleMania? I don't know about that, but it will be cool to see him win a world title, you know, from somebody, because it's not unfamiliar. So shout out Triple H, man. He went crazy unpredictable with the Royal Rumble, because I will say Jay winning the Royal Rumble was not expected, and that's the good thing when you have a lot of over talent, which they did in this Rumble. When you have so much over talent, it's a multitude of guys you could choose to win the Royal Rumble. So the good news is there's a lot of people you could go with now. It would have been crazy if Roman would crazy enough if Roman would have won the Rumble and they would have went with like maybe Roman versus Gunther instead. That would have been crazy. 2 guys that are booked kind of like that final boss esque character. It would have been crazy, but just thinking of random stuff here. But last 2 things I'm gonna say is I'm surprised that Trick Williams wasn't in this match, in the Royal Rumble to showcase him. Crazy Joe Hendry from TNA, their world champion, was there, but not former 2-time NXT champion Trick Williams for that trick chance. But anyway, I also was surprised that Randy Orton wasn't in this match, maybe as the last entrant. But guess I don't know. Maybe they want to give Randy Orton some time off, a break. But that would have been another big time over name that could have believably won the Royal Rumble, to maybe challenge Cody. You know, that would have been a nice little. But that's the thing. When you have so many over guys and top guys and upcoming guys, there's so many. It's great when you can choose from so many people who could have won. That's what happens when you let these stars grow and get over. But surprised that like Trick Williams wasn't there in the Rumble. He'll get there one day, y'all. I promise, man. I know it sucked for me too when I didn't get to see him in there. But anyway, last thing I'm gonna say is, it's crazy because there's obviously a lot of stories you can tell and stories that are set up. And I think Logan eliminated AJ Styles. So I think, and I was actually making this prediction last year of what potential Mania matches could be for WrestleMania 41, was Logan Paul and AJ Styles. They could deliver a banger match. AJ's one of the greatest wrestlers in the ring, and Logan Paul is a great athlete. So that match could go crazy. And hopefully that's what the match is. Hopefully that Rumble elimination set it up like how it did last time with Logan when he got eliminated, or eliminated Seth, I think, at WrestleMania, or in 2023. That wasn't 2024. But I'm thinking Mania at this point, Cena did a little press conference afterwards saying that he's going to main event WrestleMania and win title number 17 and win Elimination Chamber. I do think he'll win that match. But yeah, Cena. It's, with that being said, it's almost looking like they're going Jay versus Gunther, Cena if he wins the Chamber, maybe Cena versus Cody for the WWE title. So those are reports that were there at one point in time. Those are seeming more and more true now that Cena's trying to say he's going to win the Chamber, and how we obviously know it's a retirement tour, so all of this is going to be the last Rumble, last WrestleMania, last Chamber match, all of that. So it's almost looking like it's going to be Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes is looking more like that's going to be the case now. A lot of people think Cena's going to win the Chamber, so obviously he would challenge Cody. So that's been reported that they're going to do Cena and Cody, and that was looking more true. And then maybe Punk and Roman. So I think, I don't know what Seth's going to do, but you know, I got time for playing out that, but Yeah, they got a lot of people like Jacob and Drew and just other like Sammy, other top guys that or top guys are on the way to being top guys that I wonder what they're gonna do with them for the Royal Rumble because there's a lot of things going on here. But like I said, 3 matches I'm thinking of off the top. I'm guessing that Charlotte will challenge Tiffany Stratton because it's a match we haven't seen. We've seen the Rhea match, and that just doesn't make sense to do that match again. Uh, I think they're gonna go with Tiffany Stratton. It should be a good match. They'll probably give Charlotte the title back, but we'll meet that conversation when it gets there. But yeah, it'll probably be like Charlotte and Tiffany, and then Rhea. I can see going against either like Io Sky or Bianca at Mania, and then like I said, Jay and Gunther, I think, is going to be the match. Cody and Cena is looking like that's going to be the match. And then Punk and Roman was another report that was going to be a match. And now that's looking more like it's going to be the case because, forgot to mention, Seth Rollins, I think, delivered a stomp to Roman on the steps. And he delivered a stomp to Punk on the outside. So it was some brawling going on the outside when all these people, Punk, Seth, and Roman, were eliminated. That was all, they were all brawling all types of ways. Forgot to mention that. But we'll see what the favor was that Punk promised Paul at some point. And yeah, what a Rumble. I give it like a overall, the whole show, I give it about an 8 to 8.5 out of 10. But I'm about to go ahead and hit the bed, hit the shower, all that type of stuff, man, because I did get excited with this Rumble. Like I said, first half of the show, yeah. Second half of the show definitely picked up. Match of the year, I feel, with Cody and Kevin. They killed it out there with that ladder match. But at the end of the day, what can I say? It is what it is, and what it's going to be is this Prodigy continue to come out with the constant bitches, the bangers, and running the numbers up. Hopefully running the numbers up, and y'all obviously are going to be the team that I bring with me to do that. You know what I mean? But until I see you guys again, y'all know the vibe that DJ is on, and we on cool vibes only, man. That means throughout thick and thin, we rocking it out. But, or thick or thin, we rocking it out. But anyway, I shall see you guys in the next video, man. Till I see y'all, man, let's get it. Let me know down below in the comments if y'all love the Rumble, like the Rumble, what you think about the winners, all that type of stuff. Let's have a conversation in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe before you go. Till I see y'all in the next one, man. Peace.